怎么解脱？想要我想不就傻逼？
华人炒股如何用什么方式？
Well, that was an amazing experience of the 9 months at Sentosa. I'm now back at the Vivo City and after taking a break, doing lots of videos every day and trying to stream and send down and do shots. And my hand, right, it was quite tired from, I mean, it's a little sore, not tired, but from like holding two handphones, one on the left hand, one on the right hand, and doing the long videos, and then the third phone is at the tripod, is on top, so I'm not hands-free, basically. Yeah, anyway, I try to make full use of that video, it's like every session, having multiple phones help, but then training my arms now, I think some bicep curls and wrist curl will help. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching this video and take care everyone. I will see you guys in the next video. And bye bye. Hope you enjoy. Happy New Year. 结果。别问你的痛，你怎么解脱？我只有着注定相遇和比较。 Greetings from Singapore. Today's video is a bit special because I noticed that many Singapore girls, they like to cut hair really short, so I'm doing this little video to show you guys the reasons. So the first thing I think of this is because the weather in Singapore is hot, so by cutting short hair, right, it actually is sweat less and it's more comfortable. But sometimes it can be really short, like a little tomboy. But then it's okay if the girls like it, there's nothing else you can comment, right? So, and then second thing, short hair is easier to maintain, faster to wash and dry, less styling time. It's cheaper to maintain, and good for busy students and working adults. Number three is like, it's actually quite a neat and professional look. Especially in schools and office, it looks clean, smart, confident. So many choose it, even choose a short hairstyle, even if working or when they're studying. And the next reason I can think of is that short hair is a bit trendy and stylish. Even some local celebrities, they actually have the short hair, like Zoe Day and Frank Wong. This makes the hair, right, short hair look modern and cool. The next reason, right, I think some girls like short hair because it shows confidence, independence, and also like just be myself, don't care about anyone, not about pleasing others, about your own identity and comfort. So despite all the reasons I will told you, right, I just still prefer girls with long hair, but not so long that it reach the buttocks, long enough like cover the shoulder and maybe to the back, just above the buttocks areas will be good. But then it depends on individuals and also depends on the feature as well, not just long hair. Then I would like that. I mean, it all depends on the package, you see. Saying that a girl's package is not correct, the overall look will be more correct. So anyway, I find that girls with short hair are very manly and very unfeminine. It's like tomboy, and many Hokkien aunties, they do it, they cut short hair. Just look at the auntie on the street when they go to market. 9 out of 10 will cut short hair, only 1 have long hair. This is different from other Asian countries. For example, in Vietnam, right, it's a reverse. Very little female or women, they cut short hair in Vietnam. Even the elderly women above 60 years old, they have the long hair, even though the long hair is graying and white. There are even grandmas with their hair entirely white and grey, but they still keep long hair because they think it's feminine, and I totally agree with it, and I just love the feminine look. Girls who like girls, right, they normally cut short hair. But in that role, there's a guy and a girl in the relationship, and then for guys, it's another story, But now today's topic is just on girls, so yeah, I just hope that this discussion will like little comments, In Singapore, it's just like too common, especially since I returned to Singapore. I lived overseas for a few years, just have a big job. Then I returned because actually this trend is getting more and more serious, more and more prevalent. Even the young girl at the age of 5 years old, right, the mother who has short hair also get the daughter to cut short hair. So the daughter, right, when she grows up, also has the short hair forever. In the days she has her first haircut until the day she passed on to heaven. I think it's quite sad. Women should try to have long hair. And then your long hair is more of the styling tips, You can have a lot of styling, left, right, center. You can bundle it, bun. You can color it, so nice, looks so nice. Actually, during the Chinese New Year season, you can color like natural brown and in some little gold. If you are bold enough, you dye the red color, green color, orange. I think that's look very, very young, a bit ugly. So anyway, thanks for watching this video, and I'd like to see you guys in the next video. Bye bye. Singapore, today's topic is about the elderly people in Singapore. They work until the day they pass away. Do you think it's correct or not correct? Because I see a lot of like old people, right? At the age of 60, 70, 80 years old, still working in the food court. You see there's a Food Republic in front, right? Many of them are working as a part-time cleaners or even some waiter and waitresses, and also in the McDonald's. So it's like the people who say that uncle, auntie just work until they die, you know, because everything is so expensive in Singapore, the cost of living, alamak. So what can we do? Most of the people, old people, right, they work because, not because they have a choice, but they have no choice. They need to put the food on the table and 3 meals a day, because some of them, their children doesn't visit them anymore, so they have to depend on themselves, and some of them don't have enough savings or even CPF to like retire, you know. It's very sad. And some of them even live in rental flat, they don't have their own flat, especially in some of the Chin Swee area, Chinatown. It's very sad, you know. It's just one room and no bedroom, you know. Just open the door and see everything. It's just a little studio apartment. Some of the uncles and aunties are also victims of scams, love scams, you know. They trust a person they have never met before, and they think they fall in love already, so they transfer a big sum of money, 6 figures, 100,000, 200,000, that's their life savings, and gone. When they are being scammed, it's too late, and then they become very depressed, very, very sad, because they lost a big amount of money, so they have to work, you know. Even they are sick, they just pretend to be healthy and just work, you know. It's just so sad. So there's also a small percentage of the uncle and auntie who work, right? Because they are too free. They are healthy, they are too free, and they actually don't need the salary, but they just work because out of the freedom and boredom, they don't want to be bored, they want to be free, and they want to have somebody to look at, somebody to talk to, and yeah, that's the reason I can think of. But that's the best small percentage, you see. I think it's less than 10% out of the entire Singapore population of the uncle and aunties are working over 60 years. So right now, you see how many uncle and aunties are working as a security guard, cleaners, this manual job, right? It's just so tiring for them. They need to stand, they can't even sit. In the McDonald's, they wear as a waiter and waitress, and they put on the uniform, put on the cap. NTUC cashiers, sing songs, Giant, Cold Storage, all the supermarket, they are just day-to-day work. Of course, the salary in Singapore is still higher than less stable countries like Thailand and Malaysia, as well as Vietnam, Philippines, Myanmar, Laos, Cambodia. But then the cost of living is so high here that many singles above 40 years old, they are still not married, you know. Anyway, that's another topic. I'm just saying that the cost of living is super slowly killing Singaporeans, and this affects the entire population, not just the elderly, but the elderly feel the most, because you know why? Their health is not so good, and when they get sick, right, it takes a long time to recover compared to the people who are old, who are younger. So that means more visit to the doctor, and more visit doctor means more consultation fee, because every time you visit a doctor in Singapore, you pay consultation fee. And be it the polyclinics, the hospital, or just a private clinic, is very expensive, you know. Polyclinic, one time you go and pay the consultation fee. For Singapore, I believe it's $19 or $20. The last time I went, I think it's 19. So even the doctor doesn't help you in your sickness, right? You still have to pay $19. Because I have some ingrown nails on my foot. So they refer me to podiatrist at another polyclinic. So when I went there, the first polyclinic doctor still charged me the consultation fee, despite don't have any treatment, no. She just talk only and then refer. But of course, he give me the polyclinic referral letter lah. Then they go to the Toa Payoh polyclinic to see the other, not Toa Payoh, but another clinic, right? Polyclinic. Then that are more podiatrists, means the doctor who is specialized in charge of treat the nails, right? She just trim and cut 3 little nails on my nails, right? On mine, right? And guess how much the fee? Plus consultation, I think it's about $60. And the problem is not solved, you know. She refused to cut my ingrown nails, even because she said that I have another appointment at the hospital, which is true. That's in March. So she said that cutting the nails, right, the ingrown nail taking out, right, will affect the other doctors at the big hospital, affect their judgment, and it's best not to cut. So I just feel like, so you cut and trim one toenail is $17, is it? 50 divided by 3 is 16.3, 16.33, right? So I think you don't have any serious problem, don't go to the polyclinic. You just waste your time. You sit there and wait, and then you pay a consultation fee. End of the day, you just waste your time and money. So the doctors they still treat the elderly the same. They don't think that the elderly give them the elderly being elderly can give them priority in waiting time, and the price of the same doctor is all the same. So the elderly feel the pinch most, and they are very prone to falls, in the toilet. Once they fall, they get a long time to get up, and sometimes they don't get up, that may be their last day on earth. It's really sad, Then the neighbors smell the stench from the HDB upstairs or downstairs. They call the police, then they find there's a corpse. Somebody has died in the HDB flat above and below, right? So it's very terrible when it comes to the news. Then the news about the elderly people being alone, nobody take care, and some of them even go and pick the canned drink from the trash can and just sell cardboard, cartons. I mean, they go and pick the cardboards and go and sell. It's really sad, especially in Chinatown. You see lots and lots of old people, and also in the merchant estate like Toa Payoh, Kallang Whampoa area, Lavender, Geylang, Yishun, Paya Lebar. Anyway, I hope this situation will improve, but I think it's very, very difficult because even though the government still gives subsidies every year, right? They say the GST payout, but they give us a drumstick, take away the whole chicken. That means the government takes more than they give us, and every generation they feel it. My generation, the younger generation who's still studying, and those who are retired or the uncle auntie, they all feel the pinch. And it's because high cost of living, right? So a lot of us don't really spend money, Don't really get to spend money. Besides the makan, the food and the transport, right? And sometimes they say we just go and buy some medicine. Other than that, right, for the younger generation, we just want to save enough money to buy a house. And for those who are self-employed, like myself, right, I need to pay the full cash for the HDB, Full cash meaning I cannot take HDB loan. I mean, I cannot take bank loan also, so nobody will loan to me because I'm doing the YouTube, right? My income is like still not stable, so yeah, and then I'm still not monetized yet. Actually, I have another channel which is monetized. I have 1,000 followers and above, and also 4,000 watch hours, but the money is very little, I think it's one of the lowest paid jobs in the world. I'll do another video in my upcoming videos, but that's another story. So yeah, I think I said enough. If the elderly have a lot of money, right? The last point is that if they have a lot of money, so they won't see so many elderly taking the MRT or the bus or the LRT at the Bukit Panjang or the Sengkang, Hougang, Punggol area. It's really, really sad, And also surgery just come, then they are shocked why many elderly people still work. I have a friend who came to Singapore, and then my friend asked me, why your uncle and auntie still work at the age of over 70 years? So I said that, I mean, my friend was curious how come they work as a cleaner, in the food court. So I told my friend that this is because of high cost of living. There's no choice, Of course, I don't go interview the uncle and auntie, because I know from my heart, I have a few friends who is working in this kind of jobs. I mean, it's still respectable. No job is lousy. It's just that it's tough or not tough. And every job has their own problems. Alright guys, I'll see you in my next video. Take care everyone. I shouldn't say anymore. Take care. Bye bye.